wants to replace UNRWA with the CIA front group. You've probably seen in the last few weeks that Israel has been making a huge coordinated push to demonize UNRWA. But there is another detail of this story that's being overlooked. The Israeli news site Ynet reported last weekend that the Israeli Foreign Ministry has put together a task force that's working on writing up a proposal to replace UNRWA with USAID. The U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, is ostensibly a U.S. aid organization. Their website says, USAID is the world's premier international development agency and a catalytic actor driving development results. USAID's work advances U.S. national security and economic prosperity, demonstrates American generosity, and promotes a path to recipient self-reliance and resilience. Their website has pictures of non-white people smiling and eating food like you'd expect from other Western charities. USAID is basically an appendage of the U.S. national security state. As long as it's existed, USAID has funded and trained right-wing opposition groups in countries with governments that the U.S. wanted to undermine or overthrow. More recently, the agency's leaned into its humanitarian image as a ploy to topple governments, specifically through its Office of Transition Initiatives, transition being the euphemism for overthrowing governments. OTI describes its work as, quote, supporting U.S. foreign policy objectives by helping local partners advance peace and democracy. One of its main targets has been Venezuela, where USAID has poured hundreds of millions of dollars into overthrowing its socialist government led by Hugo Chavez. USAID has also made several attempts to overthrow the Cuban government. So what does this have to do with Gaza? But it's been 4 months, and thousands of casualties later, Israel's still nowhere close to defeating the resistance, leaving Israel no choice but to seek out a political solution. This is where USAID comes in. Israel's slander against UNRWA has already caused UNRWA to lose huge amounts of funding to the point where it could very well become non-operational. If USAID were to replace UNRWA in the event of a truce or a ceasefire, USAID could easily be used to deny aid to anyone who supports the Palestinian resistance. If they behave anything like they have historically, USAID is going to throw money and aid around to try to take over Palestinian politics. In essence, this could be a larger ploy by Israel to weaponize humanitarian aid, but it's also worth remembering that all of the USAID coup attempts that I mentioned earlier failed, because at the end of the day, no amount of money can buy people's trust. It won't make people forget that the US not only enabled this genocide, but financed it. Nothing can wash away that crime.